It's a festive time of year. Presents, family, tinsel, and in my case, a Christmas tree. But this symbol, like so many others of the winter holidays, has a religious, cultural, and even ancient connection. Yet when you sweep all that aside, there still exists a symbol for a secular holiday that fills the void left behind when this arboreal cat zapper is defrocked of its luminous boughs. And it's totally real. And we're going to talk about the Latin and ancient Roman history that's connected to it. It's called Festivus.
Dear son, happy Festivus?
The 9th season Seinfeld episode, The Strike, features a bizarre, idiosyncratic family celebration invented by George's father, Frank Costanza.
As I rained blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way.
What is Festivus?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
When George was growing
Jerry,
up,
no.
his father hated all the commercial and religious aspects of Christmas, so he made up his own holiday. And instead of a tree, didn't your father put up an aluminum pole?
Well, happy Festivus.
Jerry, stop it.
And then weren't there feats of strength that always ended up with you crying?
Someone stop this.
Let's rumble! And at the Festivus dinner, you gather your family around and tell them all the ways they have disappointed you over the past year. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
That might actually be a good idea for Christmas.
I don't want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood.
Or maybe not. Thus, poor George Costanza lacked the warm joys of Christmas his whole life. Which is probably why, when most frustrated, he burst forth with the invocation of Santa himself. But what's truly remarkable to me is that this is based on a real holiday. One of the writers on Seinfeld, Dan O'Keefe, had a father whose name, confusingly, was Daniel O'Keefe, and he came up with the Festivus tradition in the 1960s when Dan and his two brothers, Larry and Mark, were children. In 2005, Dan O'Keefe wrote a book about it, and a link to the book is in the description if you're interested. O'Keefe discusses theories of why his parents would impose such a ritual on him, including the possibility of psychological experimentation on the children.
It's time for the Festivus feats of strength.
No feats of strength! I'm Festivus!
We had some good times.
But ultimately, he concludes it was the celebration of his parents' first date. As featured in the Seinfeld episode, his father would record Festivus discussions and poem recitations for re-listening on future Festivuses.
I brought one of the cassette tapes. Read that poem.
I can't read it. I need my glasses.
You don't need glasses, you're just weak, you're weak!
Leave him alone!
While Seinfeld establishes the date of Festivus as December 23rd, the O'Keefe Festivus had no set date. In this dialogue from the Dan O'Keefe book, I imagine the voices of the Costanzas. Dad, why did Festivus have no set date? I think it made it more exciting. So is that why? No, it's because we never got around to choosing one. We were very busy. It was hard to schedule. We were raising 3 children, for goodness sake. It's not enough your family has a special holiday all its own? You need a set date too? I guess it would be nice. A lot of things would be nice. What does that mean? Never you mind. While the Seinfeld Festivus features an aluminum pole as the central decoration,
It's made from aluminum. Very high strength to weight ratio.
this was never part of the O'Keefe Festivus. Instead, the symbol of the real Festivus was a clock in a bag. Yes, a clock in a bag nailed to the wall. So where did the name Festivus come from? Well, it seems that the senior O'Keefe took it right from Latin. Now, this channel often deals with the pronunciation of Latin, so we're going to talk about the pronunciation of this word right now. Festus, festa, festum is an adjective in Latin, and it means pertaining to the holidays. The opposite is profestus, profesta, profestum, meaning a regular working day or a common day. In modern Latin, we use the term dies profesti for weekdays and dies festi for holidays and weekends. It's worth noting that festus may or may not have had a long vowel in classical Latin. Etymologically, it comes from a long vowel for certain. However, the Spanish word fiesta and the open Italian vowel, festa, seemed to suggest that the vowel had become short, or at least remained open in quality, into late antiquity. The vowel breaking in words like fiesta, viene, cielo, or cielo, fieno, is from an open e vowel sound, not exclusively from a short e vowel. From this we have another Latin adjective, festivus, which means festive, jovial, merry. And herein lies the pronunciation problem. The E is a long vowel sound, and frequently, though not consistently, English terms, taken directly from Latin, preserve the accent. As the accent falls on the E in Latin, it should also in English, and be festivus or festivus. But if we actually pronounce it that way, then we couldn't gloriously shout,
A Festivus for the rest of us!
it's just too catchy. The etymology of festus indicates that the word ultimately comes from the Proto-Indo-European deus, meaning god, deity, or sacred place. Thus, the fact that the intent of Festivus is to oppose the religious winter holidays as a name for a secular holiday, it strikes me as a bit of an oxymoron from an etymological point of view. Of course, even the term secular holiday is oxymoronic, since holiday comes from holy day. But why celebrate a winter holiday to begin with? Well, a lot of the Christmas traditions have their origin in the ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia. The ancient Roman holiday of Saturnalia was a celebration of the harvest, because the ancient Roman god Saturn was originally the god of the harvest. Saturnalia featured a lot of really kooky things. For example, the slaves were put in the position of the domini of the masters, and the masters would serve the slaves at dinner. This recalls the seemingly modern tradition of bosses in office places wanting to enjoy a Christmas party with their employees on equal footing. Elaine's dance would go perfectly with an ancient Saturnalia party.
Fancy Moses.
The ancient Romans on Saturnalia would also give gifts. They would help the poor, but the drunken revelry of their parties was notorious. This particular aspect of drinking, even gambling, worked its way all the way through the Christmas celebrated in the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. One of Charles Dickens' aims in writing A Christmas Carol was to reform this and to make it more about family and close friends, rather than excessive drinking.
Wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas.
Indeed, attempts at reforming both Saturnalia in ancient times and Christmas in the more recent epic have been rather frequent historically speaking. Thus, Frank Costanza's attempt to reform Christmas by creating Festivus is very much in the spirit of the reforms of the winter holiday stretching back millennia.
Come on, be sensible.
Stop crying and fight your father.
Ow! Oh, I got
This is the best Festivus ever!
Results may vary. If you're looking for a Latin way to celebrate the winter season in a secular way, I can recommend a new audiobook written and recorded by myself and Irene La Preziosa about the odyssey of a young duckling lost in winter. Subito tempesta sortast, tempesta saeva, turbida, perfrigida, admirans gygnum candidum.
Vidaris nubecula.
See the preview on my other channel, Scorpio Martianus, and download at lukeranieri.com. I also have a new audiobook available, The Story of Christmas, from Matthew and Luke. The trilingual edition, recited in English, Latin, both classical and ecclesiastical pronunciations, and ancient Greek. But if Christmas isn't your thing, then there's always a Festivus for the rest of us. Valete.
Boop.